Yeah.
I'm just gonna move room.
All right.
Don't mind me.
Town and Jeff had a thingy.
Yeah, I think he had a, he was ministering a,
Craig had something too.
he's traveling
That one.
for work. Yes, but this was the night that most of us could meet, so, all right, we are recording, and you want to do roll call?
No.
Want me to do?
Go ahead.
You-
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I didn't bring anything to write with, so
Okay. Go
I'm
ahead.
still new.
Ryan, are you with us? He's moving. We're gonna do roll call.
Yeah, I'm just walking.
Okay.
Move my laptop to a different room.
Okay, Lori Dvorak,
Here,
I can hear you.
Dave Burton,
Here.
Ryan Smith. Brian Smith,
I'm
Here.
here. Sorry, click off mute.
Him.
Chris Papalizio,
Here.
Nancy Kavanaugh, absent. Craig Montanari, absent. Jeff Flynn, absent. Julia Schiavi, here.
thank you. All right, so I'm guessing a lot of you probably heard by now, but the permit was signed off on October 6th for the dam. On October 4th, preemptively, however, we didn't know it was going to happen that quick. We had a subcommittee meeting. Dave, Carl, the engineer, Tim Pelton was the dam chairperson, and myself had a meeting. Glad we did. It worked good because 2 days later the permit was signed. So I thought we'd talk about this. This was. I did some research one night on the repercussions of if the dam recommendations are not repaired, and it came back with some interesting information. And I know that it's been presented to the membership that it's a referendum, and we're going to ask them, Mother May I, and so forth. That's not the case. That's not how it should have been presented. When the DEP makes, when the inspection report makes recommendations to repair the dam, we are obligated to repair the dam. So unfortunately, it hasn't been presented that way. And it was by no fault. I mean, we've never gone through this process before, so we didn't know. But if push came to shove down the road and we hadn't put in for the permit, and we could be liable up to $1,000 a day fine. And that's obviously, you know, at the extreme, but it could happen. And yes, in the report, there are recommendations to do repairs. So,
Can I just interject something?
yes.
Along those same lines, we have also the insurance ramifications, right?
So insurance also has asked me on July 21st and July 31st for the new dam inspection report that was due now. So yes, we could definitely have insurance issues if we don't repair, do the recommendations that are to be repaired in the dam. And then loss of coverage altogether. If anything happens, while we know these issues, we could be liable for anything that occurs. So, if we didn't address the deficiencies. So it's not a matter of, do we want to address these deficiencies? We have to. So I think that's where it becomes problematic for the membership. When we talk about numbers, so we're all on the same page now. We know that it's not a should we, could we have to. So I want to talk about, and I'm going to move forward, and then we can go back and address, but funding the dam. So currently, including the town monies, which is 108,000, 10,000 allocated circa 2020 from the membership, 22 and change, I'm not going to, 23,000 was also allocated by the membership last year, and 25,000 from East Shore. So right now we have a total of 166,000 available for repairs to the dam, which is awesome. The funding, we're looking at it being a flat rate as an assessment. And that is partially to incorporate the East Shore. Tim and I are going to have another meeting with Irene Haynes and Valerie Bells from the finance department, I think next week. And we're going to talk about the fact that the town is providing 108,000. We did not get another 15,000 with the budget that just passed, which I inquired to Valerie. I haven't heard back why. But we still have 108,000 from them, which is really good. So part of the flat rate was so that we could compel the East Shore in some fashion or manner, and that Tim is working on that and saying, okay, every household is paying some arbitrary number. We're going to ask the same of you. And then I think part of the other funding part is how to include or not include unbuildable lots, attached lots versus standalone lots. And I think saying it is easier than actually doing it. I think we said, well, we will tax, if there's attached lots to your home, those don't get taxed. But if you have a home that's on Wildwood and you have a lot on Glimmer Glen, you're going to get taxed twice because your Glimmer Glen lot is also giving you 4 passes for amenities. And that's why you own an unbuildable lot, because otherwise, why would you? So saying that is easier than invoking it.
So are we going right into funding? Because, so unbuildable lots will get taxed, because I just heard you say unbuildable, right?
Well, they're all,
Because there are 5 buildable lots
Oh.
and there are 110 unbuildable lots.
but are the 110 unbuildable lots attached to people's homes? For instance, right in front of me.
In some cases,
Yeah,
in some cases, no.
right. So the no ones are the ones we would build, because the ones that are attached and the ones that are like in front of me,
Yes.
you know, they own across
Like
the
you,
road,
Chris
but
owns
it's,
across
Yeah,
the street.
like you would only be taxed once. But that's why I said easier said than done, because to go through that, and
Is that legal?
I don't know.
Okay, so we'd have to clarify that. with the attorney,
Absolutely.
correct?
Yes. So I'm just giving an overview now, and then we can backtrack.
No, I'm
on
sorry, I'm
anything.
sorry.
No, and that's good. It's good. But
Lori, is that similar to how we're taxed through the town and through Hula?
no. So you're taxed through the town and through Pula via your home assessment.
Right?
So if you
Not
go,
by law, it's by your home assessment.
correct.
Okay.
And I know they did the tennis courts. And the only person I can ask right now is Dave Edgington. But I believe when they did the tennis courts back when they did them, it was a flat rate. Any other
It was a flat
assessment?
rate. I was here, and Andrew was the president at the time. Tim seems to think he was, but it was Andrew.
Okay, so any other assessments that have been done, as far as I know, have been flat rates.
So there's a historic precedent for the
Yes.
flat rate. then.
Another talking point will be how and what to notify the membership. So when we met in our subcommittee little thing here, we talked about writing up an informative letter. One, if it did turn out to be a referendum, we have 30 days in which we have to notice the membership. So it would serve as both if we decide that it is a referendum, but it also will send out official information. We also decided and thought that it was best that we send the same information to the East Shore residents that we send out to our residents. Because we're gonna ask them for the same flat rate. So the repairs are non-negotiable. So now we have to kind of backpedal a little bit, and how do we present this to the membership? So this is where we got to put our thinking caps on and try to, educate them, let them know, that this is something we have to do. Then the other thing that we need to talk about is, and I know this is going to come up, because it came up with the playground, is do we use some of our current unallocated reserves? And I think right now it's 130, or did we just, no, we just allocated towards the playground, so it's less than that. We just allocated 21,000 to the playground. So we have about 115,000, 112,000. When we were fundraising for the playground in the beginning, you don't know how many emails and phone calls I got. How come we can't use our reserves? How come, we have to fundraise? We didn't do that for the tennis courts. We just used the money from the reserves. Well, not everybody obviously was educated that we had a vote, we had a presentation on the tennis courts, one, and two, it was the playground committee that wanted to fundraise.
Sure.
And yes, we did allocate from the reserves for the remainder of the playground. So do we want to discuss using money from the reserves to help offset the cost of the special assessment? Naturally, we don't want to use all of our reserves.
Right.
But do we want to make that part of the information that we provide to help smooth things?
Do we know what an appropriate reserve level is?
And that was the other thing we talked about. We as a board have come up with a lot of financial different aspects, but that one we have not come up with yet.
So we
one of
hold,
the-
as a city, we hold 20% of our annual operating budget in our reserve. So if we have a $20 million operating budget, then 5%, then $4 million in reserve every year.
So I'm sorry, Dave, would you say what's
So
the
we-
percentage?
So we
20?
hold a 20% of the annual operating budget in reserve, but the state of Connecticut makes us do that.
Ours was like 220,
Yeah,
not quite 220,
no.
because it's some.
So that would say that our reserve should be someplace around $50,000, a little bit less.
Yeah, so 25, 26 is 244.7, so like 250.
Yeah, look, I would like to suggest that we relook at the holistic plans that we have, because the pavilion isn't brand new anymore. And when I did the plan for the pavilion, I was looking at replacing the roof, which is an expensive cost,
Right.
similar to the tennis courts. So looking at the holistic plan versus looking at holistically what we've been spending or what the budget has been, I think are going to be two different things. So having 50,000 as a reserve might not be enough when we look at our 7 primary resources holistically. So maybe we could look at that. Maybe Dave and I could take a quick look and see what we're going to need in the next 10 to 15 years with some of our properties, the 7 major ones that we pointed out. I think we have a good handle on
Right.
courts. I think we have a good handle on the pavilion.
I only asked at the dam, so
So
I'm just not
I'm
even.
sure you're advocating
I
for
like
the
the
dam.
20% rule, but it may be that we need to maintain 70,000 when we look at it a little different way.
Yeah, maybe that our operating budget is not big enough.
Right, well,
Yeah,
so
that's
let
what
me
I'm saying.
just
Yeah, but
say,
don't forget the purpose of that maintenance.
Let me-
The purpose of maintaining the reserve is not to do repairs. That's for emergencies.
so let me,
Because the general fund the general budget should have a repair budget line item in it.
Right,
You should be planning
you're right,
your CIPs for 1 to 5 years.
it's probably not adequate.
So
Right.
let me just back up a
That's
little
the
bit,
risk.
Chris. I gave you the balance of the general
Right.
unallocated reserves.
Right. Yeah,
But the balance
giving
of
me
our
the earmarks.
reserves, the year,
Yes.
including the earmarks, is 211,000. So we
Yeah,
have,
so we could look at the entire picture then.
Yes.
When we have all that data in front of us.
right,
When you look at the earmarks, when we look at what we have for expenditures that are in the 15-year range.
Somebody's trying to come in.
It's me.
Oh,
I just got yeah, I don't know if I missed it early on. Do we have, I know we have the permit and we have to do the work. But we don't have it out to bid. We don't even know the cost yet.
well, so that's,
Really?
we're gonna get to that part too.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not sure if at this point, there's so many moving parts, the chicken or the egg, but that's in the talking points too, contract RFPs and contract bidding. So you're right on target.
Okay.
but you're right, Lori, we got a little ahead of the game with our holistic approach where we started to earmark some money towards our 7 major assets.
Right.
So we may be in a little better shape than what we would have been if we didn't do that over the past couple of years.
The thing what you also have to do is you do the math, right? So you're gonna put the hard math out there. So let's say we take, so what is it worth taking $50,000? So how many homeowners and or seasonal and or full-time are there within Pula? Some
430,
430.
295, seasonal, 130, I'm sorry, 420, 130 year round, 295 seasonal.
Dave, but the
That
second,
doesn't include the lots.
that
Can
doesn't.
you say that again? Slow.
295 seasonal,
Yep.
130 year round.
Okay, thanks.
Lots.
And-
There's 115 lots over and above that.
Right, which some would
But you-
fall into this and some wouldn't, so maybe.
But even if you just take the 430, right, just as a rough number. So let's say we take 50, because somebody's gonna wanna take the reserve money. I mean, that's,
Oh, it's a given. That-
you're not
I
gonna
know
take
that.
this out of my
It's our
wallet.
money,
You better
right,
take it out of my
right.
reserve.
Well, I think
But
there's
here's the
gonna be-
thing, do you know what $50,000 is worth? $116.
And to some
That's it.
people,
But
that's a
that may
lot.
be a big number to some folks.
Okay.
So,
Well,
I mean, you have to-
one of the other things, Dave, when
But
I
it's-
did a review of properties, there are people that own multiple houses and there are people that own multiple lots, both buildable and unbuildable.
So-
And I can point out, it would cover to at least say Pula is using some money of it that it has saved, even though it might be minor.
$100 less than what needs to come out of folks'
And
pockets.
it's us,
I
it's
think
us
the- I
giving
think the
and
vote
saying,
would be yes.
Yes.
We could put it up for vote, but I think it would be yes.
Well, I think you have to make it, because it's gonna be a discussion point, I think you put it on the table anyway and put it up front. And let that be the voting point.
so, so moving into the next part, again, this is the chicken or the egg. So Dave and John Gilmore are going to do the vetting of the contractors. And then we'll have the pre-bid meeting and all of that, and we'll have them bid.
So
And I'll,
Kevin's not gonna be a part of that?
no, well, he's,
He'll have oversight.
right,
Okay, so he'll-
So, you want me to go through this?
yes,
All right,
please.
so what we envisioned, Carl, the engineer, I can never pronounce his last name. Carl, the engineer, provided us a list of 10 suppliers that he had done business with before. We vetted some of them had questionable backgrounds and we didn't want to do business with them.
Can you hear, Brian? Can you hear? He's muted. You're muted.
Oh, sorry, I hit it twice. Yeah, I can hear.
Oh,
Or-
okay.
Dave has a little bit of a raspy voice.
So,
I mean,
I'll speak up.
he'll speak
No, I
up.
can hear you. It was just those numbers I was trying to get
We
clear.
envisioned starting the process in mid-December to vet the suppliers. Having that available for the board to look at as who we think we should go out to for bid, probably in the January meeting. we would send out a solicitation on February 1st of next year, asking for a response 45 days later, which is March 15th. That would give us time to look at the preliminary bids in the March meeting. It also gives us opportunity to send out a referendum notice on April 1st and make a decision by June of next year, which would allow us to start construction on September of next year.
Question, Dave. There was mention about if we don't comply with the recommendations of what our dam needs to, our spillways need to be in good shape, that compliance, is there a time frame that we need to comply with the recommendation of the reports from the dam engineers before we start to incur penalties, the day-to-day penalties?
Well,
Just looking at the timeline.
the permit itself is good for 5 years, which I think originally we thought 3. 5 is fabulous. But I think because we have already instituted that we are moving forward with the repairs that are recommended, I don't think we're falling into any time constraint at this point.
Is the time constraint
as
5
far-
years
We
from?
No, it could actually be longer. It depends. So what triggers deep, because we asked Carl this question on Saturday, what triggers deep to start mining and moving into that is inactivity, okay? And he said, as long as they see movement in the right direction. But, you know, to come back to what Lori said originally, you know, we do have the issue of the insurance company asking for compliance as well. And that's probably a bigger driver than deep is. In that, when I went out and looked at insurance alternatives earlier this year, the companies I talked to said, we might insure you, but we will not insure the dam. Okay? They were straight out, right up front. We don't want that liability.
I mean, that could be.
Yeah, I was just asking because the time frame that Dave is presenting is an aggressive time frame. And if we are going to incur penalties within that, if we don't hit these dates, that would be concerning, but it sounds like we have, as long as we're progressing and we're making progress, then we don't have risk of incurring the penalties from deep. It's more that we need to ensure that we're doing everything to satisfy our insurance.
Yes, well, pretty much. So the driver of these dates is cement curing. You can't go into frozen.
Correct.
Understood.
So that's the driver. We want September 1st to be, so do we want it to be this year or do we want to wait a whole nother year?
Well, we need that window. Yeah.
I mean, there's also risk that you could have a failure as well. Now, the engineers, Carl, the engineer said, in all likelihood, the failure would not be catastrophic initially. That it would take time for erosion to contribute, but it's.
Well, and then you have a cost increase, right? So we always calculate a 5% per year cost increase, depending on how many years you're gonna push it out.
I think we did 10, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, the other thing about this timeline is that it allows us to create a referendum.
So that last one, Dave, was in September?
Yeah, September's the start date, but the decision would be June 1st of next year. It allows us to go out to the community with a referendum that has solid information. You've gone out to
3 contractors.
at least 3, probably more, 5 to 6. You've gotten back bids. You've had pre-bid meetings. You know, you've done all the due diligence, and that it's not only the engineer's evaluation, which is probably 70 to 80% in the ballpark, but you now have hard numbers.
And that was a huge driver 4 years
Yeah, yeah.
ago, that the membership wanted a number from a construction company. They didn't want a pie in the sky number
Right.
that they said.
Which we're gonna get.
Right, you want a hard number.
We're gonna get a hard number with.
How much is it gonna
at
cost
least
me?
3
How long is it
quotes.
gonna last?
Right.
Right? And what are they doing? And
Is
that's
the
what I
process
wanna
is
know.
also compliant to the process that the town asked us to support. One of the wild cards that I don't know at this point, and I
We're gonna have
think
to
you can have,
comply with the town.
yeah, I don't know how much the town's gonna want oversight in this.
So they do.
They do.
But what Valerie said, if we use Sourcewell, which would mean getting a log-on, if we use Sourcewell, we don't need to go through this whole crazy approval process with them because the state of Connecticut's already.
What's Sourcewell?
Well, so and then maybe want to take this up. I looked at both the state of Connecticut's portal for procurement, okay? And and then I looked at a tool called Sourcewell, which is a procurement tool. And that the Sourcewell will take you through the whole cycle if you want to. Okay, but I could not find any Connecticut approved suppliers in that database. It may be that I wasn't looking at the right tool. It may be that I didn't have access. I don't know.
So if I have this meeting with Valerie on Tuesday, again, I will ask her, but definitively, she did say that is where the
I
vendors
believe it.
they will use. Just like you put at the end there, the state of Connecticut approved vendors, that's what she was talking about. So, and they don't make you jump through hoops
Perfect.
if we use.
The less resistance, the better.
Right. Well, we don't know if the vendors on our list are on that
Right.
yet.
And you have the vendor list, the one that the engineer
Yeah.
They-
I can
need
send you a
part of
copy of it if
he's
you want.
he's recommending, he's done work with them.
Yeah, he's done work with
before,
everyone.
and,
Dave, let me reformat it first, please.
Yeah.
It's like, so Tim is a riot. He sent this to Dave and I,
This one was, there's a couple that were wrong.
and I went to print it. It
Question.
was 5,046
Questionable
pages.
background.
Oh my God. Tim, can I reformat that for you and save it truly?
So they're all fairly local,
Yeah, yeah.
which is good.
The town
So
of East Haddam
he
will
was
give
very, he
you
was very gracious and thank you.
10% more if you use it at town supplier.
Yeah, I don't see any town suppliers, but they're all local.
They're all,
There's one in Mass,
Yeah.
but most of them are in Connecticut.
right. And we did ask Carl about them.
Yeah.
Tim just asked him again, are there any that you think should not be on there? But I think
You
Carl looked at
vetted
this
some
and
out.
There's
Yeah.
a couple,
Yeah,
there's a couple,
there's
of
2 or
those,
3 notes.
but most of them are solid.
You know, just based on what I don't have the same tools that I used to have. And we probably don't want to subscribe to like Hoover's or any of those kind of things just to do this. But there are additional tools where you can get more information on these suppliers. But this is just information that's publicly available.
So do you want the state of Connecticut site for vendors? It's portal.ct.gov.
Yeah.
That's your,
but you need a log on or.
You need, and you have to apply. You have it?
guess who has a log?
Yeah. Oh, good for you.
Are you letting them use it?
I can check with my finance guy tomorrow.
I mean, I looked at it, it sent me to a form that I would have had to submit to gain access. I didn't want to do that without talking to everybody else, and I just stopped.
We can use it. It does it because it's state of Connecticut municipalities, nonprofits. So you can, private entities can't sign on to it.
Well, Valerie
Yeah.
said we could use it as being a
So
taxi.
I didn't-
Yeah.
I didn't know if what Valerie was referring to as Sourcewell was the same as the portal that I think it is, but I did not know that. Okay.
Those may be standing vendors as opposed to ones that have inside bid numbers, because bid numbers are then exempt from a bid process. So you can pick a state bid number.
That's what she was saying. It didn't have to go through a bid process.
Correct.
If we
Mm.
used the vendor that
Mm.
correlated.
Right, and everybody gets a state of Connecticut vendor number who's been vetted for bid, which is about a 10% savings. Honestly, that's what you're looking at. So,
I suspect they're the same. I just didn't know that when I did the research, and I wasn't going to make that
10%
assumption.
savings of this magnitude. is
Oh, yeah.
Big significant.
yeah,
So Dave, if we gave you this list of how many are there?
There's
10, maybe?
there's 10, but 2 are not.
Yeah, 8.
So,
There's 8. Could you look and see if they're on there?
Yeah.
I mean, if not for anything, I mean.
no, I can.
you can have, I got more
You got
copies.
enough.
My
I've got a
printer-
feeling he's got like
my
copies coming
printer
out of
just-
his ears, so.
I've done this a couple times.
Yeah. So
Couple times.
Thomaston put out a bid in February 2025. So it'll be interesting to see who they pick. Just a quick search of the portal for bids, so.
Yeah, the Whitney Dam was just done by New Haven, within the past couple of months.
So I'll take a look.
Thank you.
Sorry, my printer chewed.
No, it's okay. And if it's not on there, what I can do is if I can find dam specific, then I can produce another list and send that out to everybody.
Yeah, I mean-
Because those are ones that state of Connecticut said, yep, go ahead and anybody can use these.
So these are the ones,
Oh.
the ones that are on that list, are the ones that Carl has done work with before, and he's done work with municipalities, so, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, here's the thing though, so vendors have to pay a fee and some vendors don't like to pay that,
Hmm.
so they don't make the bid list.
Okay.
Because you have to pay an application. fee.
Question though. I don't know if you know this, but are all the ones that are on there like the lowest bidders?
No,
Okay,
no, they won't.
just had to ask.
Yep.
There's ways to justify, other than going with the low bidder.
Well, it's what are you getting, right?
Yeah.
So if somebody's giving me a 5-year warranty versus a 10-year warranty and the 10 year is more expensive, I'm gonna maybe take that depending on what the cost difference is, right?
Okay, so any more questions or you have any more talking points, Dave, on the bidding and
Not if everybody's good with it.
I have one question
Hmm?
for you, Dave.
Sure.
We have the permit.
Yes.
The very next step that we need to take with all of the members is we're going to make sure all the board members understand what you guys discussed today, what we've discussed today. Then we're gonna go out to
The scope, one other thing, sorry to digress. So we have the permit, we have the scope of work also, okay, so we understand what needs to be done. And, we could give that to someone with a technical background, and they would also understand what needs to be done. Sorry.
I was just wondering, the next thing we're doing is we're gonna share this information with all the members,
right.
and we're going to do that next month.
Well, no, so that's why this meeting was kind of expedient
And,
because
sometime this month.
listen, if anybody sneezes in this neighborhood, everybody knows.
Sure,
So,
so we wanna get it out soon.
yes, which is why I didn't want to wait till the 27th to have this meeting. I didn't want to, I thought the
Well, that's
sooner
good.
we
No, it's good.
talked
Yep, very good.
and got it out, then there's no mass hysteria out there. But the question is, what do we get out?
Personally, what I think is that we have the permit, that we have the scope of work, that we have the timeline,
The timeline's very important.
and, that we have some funding. I mean, you may or may not want to go into the detail of the funding. You may even want to leave it so that there's questions, okay, in the communication, because when you have questions, it encourages ownership. Okay.
Yeah,
So, let them come back.
okay.
Maybe we open,
The
maybe,
question though, Dave, I think we all know there's going to be a referendum. We don't know the cost of the dam. We know that we have some funds that we could leverage, but we don't know the number.
well, do we need a referendum or can we just do an assessment?
So the
That's what I
problem,
mean, assessment.
the
Yeah,
problem with the
Not a
referendum is we
Not a
can't take it
referendum.
all.
I don't even think we need the referendum.
Yeah,
But,
we need
but
a-
what we've been putting out there for the last 4 years is that we were going to have a
Well,
referendum and there was gonna
But
be.
now we
a-
have new information.
Agreed.
We have new
So,
information, so that needs to be,
right.
Are,
So,
are we,
I mean, we know we're gonna have an assessment. We don't know what the cost of the assessment. We don't know the structure because we don't know is it gonna be a flat
But
fee
we'll
for
know,
everybody?
we'll know a lot. I mean, we know some of the numbers now, which Lori's already shared, but we'll know everything by March 15th.
Which is, I think, was my point, is should we say at March 15th, we're going to know a lot, we're going to know quite a bit more because we're going to have the bids in on at least three of our major contractors.
Hopefully.
We're reaching out to more and we'll be able to share more information in March.
I think the only thing I think is that when we have the information on March 15th, it needs to initially be evaluated And we have to, of course, I mean, because let's just say the low bidder is not who we go with, okay? Well, everybody under the sun is gonna wanna know why we didn't go with the low bidder. And we need to evaluate that and be able to clearly explain why we did what we did.
Yeah, so it won't be in March. It'll be, you're right.
So there it is, between the 15th of March and the 1st of June, 45 days, right? No, there's actually 75 days. And so that's our time frame for,
We need to get it done before then, because that, according to your time frame, we want to stick close to that.
I mean, this was just something I sketched out on Saturday morning when we were talking.
So I think,
Yeah.
we send out an informational letter ASAP. Brian, go ahead.
Oh, no, I think you're about to get to it, but yeah, you gotta really start off with saying turn of events, the state's telling us we must proceed. There's no need for a question to the members on it, right? You just gotta explain that and just say, here's the timelines. This is what you're gonna get, where you're gonna get notified once we have all the bids in, right?
So-
We'll spell out.
So I think that's the rollout that we're trying to come up
Would it
with.
all be in that first letter, or you think we're gonna just like roll out the communication, just say you'll get your next one at this time spot?
I think we need to get that out soon. I mean,
Like within the next week.
Like milestone dates to expect, yeah.
I mean, I expect
Nothing is gonna
that
change
the
that.
funding that Lori's identified should carry us through phase one
Right.
or close to carrying us through phase one of this process, which is the left-hand spillway looking south. And then, phase two, we will need funding for.
Right, so at that point is when we, have instituted the special assessment. The QDS has mailed out the tax bills. And we're waiting for them to come back. And hopefully, we come up with something for the East Shore. But I think in the next week, really that soon, because like I said, Julia just sneezed and I know everybody's gonna know. So, I think in the next week, the question is, I don't think an email blast is sufficient. Probably
What are you thinking?
and because I mean, so Wolf and I kind of worked out now where if there's an email blast where I want the Shore to know about, I've added him on a section where I could put him in on it and then he sends it out in his Gazette, which is really nice. I don't think that's sufficient for what we're going to unload on the membership. I think we need to mail them a letter.
A written, yeah.
And then,
Document.
I don't think it's enough.
Right, and over and above that, can we, and maybe this is a question for your daughter, can we, as part of our website, create a spot where we can do Q&A?
Oh, that's good.
Oh,
That's good.
well, when she's back from Japan in 3 weeks.
Well,
Yeah, I know, totally. Yeah,
Yeah, I
like
mean,
an information
Yeah, I mean,
blog,
like, because a
Interact,
lot of
yeah.
questions will be redundant,
right?
okay? And
Or we could put it in there on the website, frequently asked questions.
yeah, FAQs, yeah.
Yeah,
The big one is we don't know the number. Don't ask.
When we know, and if we adopt this timeline, we'll know when we'll know the number.
Right.
When we'll know the number and we'll know approximately when we'll need the second half of the project where we're going to have to engage with the assessment.
Can I
So we
throw
have-
it?
For
And
this project.
it will help
Oh, yeah.
people better,
Yeah, he's
help
on-
people to plan for
Carl
that.
Esimovitz.
Okay, and has he looked at the DEP requirements?
Oh, he's
yes.
totally, he does.
What I'm
he's
saying
working-
is, so when we go to referendum, is the scope of the work covered?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay, all right, so there is no additional engineering cost required. We're going right to construction.
yes. So
His-
for
his-
his,
Because otherwise, it's usually about 15% of the cost of the
So
project.
his-
is engineering.
his cost for moving forward with us, the DEEP requires I believe it's a weekly inspection.
Sorry.
And his cost going forward for weekly inspection, meetings, all of that, for completion of the project, unless there's any change in scope, is $16,000.
Okay.
I don't even want to tell you what I paid my engineer.
Yeah.
So, he's really, he's been good to us.
Okay,
Um,
because that's gonna be a question, so you might want to put that out. As
yeah,
an information
he's
piece.
already offered,
Yeah, what have we paid him to date? Or what have you paid him? to
so not a lot. Really, for all the work he's done, and here it is. Scope of services. I don't know if you all want to read this. This is where he says 16,000. I think so, Dave, right? Yeah.
And
He's-
will our engineer review the
That
bids?
seems very reasonable.
He said we
To
asked him
ensure
that question.
Because we're not damn experts.
We asked him that question, and he said his preference was to work with the community, whoever was going to work on the bid process and provide insight. So, but he would review, answer your question, he will review the bids to make sure they're compliant.
It's just one page, it's thick
Oh.
folder.
It is, look at that.
date?
Yeah, I don't want to get wrapped around the axle on is that Deep puts a recommendation, our engineer says, yep, this is the scope of the work, but the contractor bids and it doesn't cover the entire scope of the repair. We need to be able to catch that. So where's our safety net?
Right.
Is it our engineer is our safety net?
There are other things, yes, he is.
Okay.
And there are other things that we anticipate that Deep has not requested, for example, traffic control. You know, do we need a one-lane road for the time frame when the construction is taking place? Only the contractor can tell us what they need.
And it's tight
As
there,
far
it's
as-
tight.
It is.
Yeah.
And also additionally, once we have bids, we anticipate that we'll need some sort of contingency over and above that because we don't know what they're going to find, as the progress goes along.
Right.
Okay.
Question.
So,
Well, okay, we don't know the number, but let's say the numbers, what's a reasonable assessment? I heard you done flat assessments. Have we ever done incremental, like spread it out kind of installments?
I don't think
If-
it's good.
Ways to soften the blow if people think it's a big number.
well, so what are you thinking is a big number, Brian?
I don't know. More than 1,000?
You know, I don't foresee that, but for some people, $100 is a
What
big
do you
number.
foresee? I'm just curious. Divided by the 430.
Yeah.
What number do you see is the proposal?
It would be a pie in the sky number, and I honestly,
Okay.
I'd rather not because,
But you know, that's what's gonna swirl through people's heads. I'm thinking that's like the FAQ, like what proposals are out there for the assessment? How it would come down to them.
Frank's point, there are people that own multiple properties as well
Yeah.
as lots within here.
Right.
So however many they own, whatever the assessment is, they will be hit by that many times more. So for some, it may be more viable or patable, whatever the word is, to do it that way. I mean, because if we look at the cash flow, we really don't need the money right up front.
right. Especially since it's not reimbursement like we've been being told for the last 3 or 4 years from the time. But, so maybe, you know, once we actually get a number and we actually figure out the values, maybe we say if your assessment is over a certain amount, you know, you could split it. I don't know. And then think about our tax collector, you know, she's the one that's gotta put all of this together.
Sure. Okay. I'm just thinking of strategies, right? I think like questions that are gonna come up
Right.
if you're
Oh,
thinking.
We're definitely gonna, I mean, this is, as far as I know, this is the largest undertaking this community has ever had. I mean, the pavilion,
Like, yeah.
this is definitely above and beyond, and
Like,
So
can we just throw out some number? Do we see this project being over like 1 million? Is it over 100K? I don't know.
no, somewhere in the middle there, I think, Brian, but
Okay. Just
we don't,
curious.
you know what, over the last few years, there have been so many numbers thrown around. people were just like, well, you said 170, then it was 315, and then it was, and so.
Well, everything's gone up, yeah.
Yeah, so we just said, let's stop
Right.
doing, it's making people wild. And,
It is.
we want to present a real number with
Right.
real facts.
Okay.
And then, take a look at the reserves.
Yeah.
Well,
And
it's gonna become more about the number because now you're saying that's not a referendum. There's no choice to it. I'm just, yeah.
You're absolutely
Kind of
right.
open what's gonna come, yeah. Sure.
And, and like I said, we've been saying to the membership the whole time, yeah, there'll be a vote, And
Yeah, it's
Well,
not a vote. You gotta explain why it's not a vote anymore. You're just handcuffed by the state. Hopefully everyone would just kind of accept that.
It's a double.
Yeah,
double-
insurance is the big,
It's
because
probably bigger than.
any
Yeah.
But the other
downstream
thing though, we have to take
failure
into
will be
consideration
minor.
is that dam needs these repairs.
Yeah, it needs a- yeah.
absolutely.
Carrie Eckert will tell you.
The permit, we have 5 years to do it, yeah.
That's not quibble about it. It needs these repairs.
No, the state said that.
Right,
That's what
Right.
the permit
That's,
said.
that's what the permit said, the dam needs these repairs.
Right.
So we need to go forward with repairs.
I mean, we can all agree there's gonna be opinions out there that are not
Yeah.
in favor. I mean, that's
Right.
just the way it is. But
Let's
but
just keep
the
stick with the
facts-
facts.
the facts are,
Just
right,
laying out facts, right?
There's repairs. We're gonna know, how much just the dam repair is. There's gonna be some ancillaries like traffic control. There's going to be other things that come up.
Yeah.
You know, add costs of the dam. So if the dam is this much, and then we're going to have some other costs
Right.
somewhere around this date here, April 1st, we're going to have
Yeah, how
a
about-
pretty solid number. By April 1st, we're gonna have a pretty solid number.
so I think that's part of the culmination of what gets sent out.
Okay.
Do you all think an email blast is appropriate?
I like
Not
what you
everyone.
said before. I think an email blast letting folks know to check their
Mail,
US mail.
but not everyone has signed up for email. That's why you can't do an email blast.
Right, well, and I can do
Yeah.
notification to check your mail
Yes,
and,
We'll
absolutely.
spread the word to your friends.
yeah, and then,
If you, let's say you created a letter, okay, that communicated what we want, why couldn't we do both email and regular mail?
we could.
I mean, because the email is not nearly the amount of effort that the regular mail,
Right,
right? And so it's redundant, but so what?
right.
That's a good idea.
But I would want to do them close, Dave. Like the envelopes are stuffed and they're at the post office and then the email comes out and maybe in a day or two later, they get the hard copy.
But at least the email starts the rumor talk. You're like, here it is, spelled out. Don't whisper, wait for a letter.
Rumor talking.
This meeting, yes. And now that we've all talked, well, most of us have talked, and I sincerely hope that, Jeff and Nancy and, Craig get a sooner than later opportunity to watch us. And I'll put the meeting on the drive. I usually get it a couple hours after our meeting. It does its thing and then sends it to me. And I'll put it on the drive for them to read tomorrow, look at tomorrow morning.
Was this
Yeah.
only sent to the board of governors? This meeting notice?
Say it again.
This meeting notice is only sent to the board of governors.
Well, so what happens is, typically, once I get it, within the week, I send it to Craig, or I put it on the drive and I tell Craig it's on the drive and he puts it up on YouTube.
That's not what I'm asking.
This goes up on YouTube.
That's not what I'm asking. Tonight, this
Yeah.
meeting, you put it on the calendar,
Yes,
but the invitation that you sent out was only sent to the board of governors? Or it just,
there was, honestly, it was 3 days ago that we
right?
decided to have this meeting.
For Brian to dial in, you had to give him the link to dial in.
No, it's on the calendar.
Okay.
Anybody
Yeah.
could have dialed in.
Public calendar, yeah.
So
So
the,
anyone.
right, so
No one else dialed in.
I'm gonna put it on the drive for the rest of the board members, hopefully to see first, and then in a few days, I'll have Craig upload it to YouTube.
If we could provide information sooner, we will, but right now, according to what Dave put together, it looks like April 1st, we're going to have a solid number.
Yes,
Consternation is when we give a wild ass guess.
Which
And
we don't-
don't want to do.
No, we
I
don't.
mean, part of what's in this schedule, okay, based on the conversations we had with Carl, is that the contractors will be filling their calendar during this time frame and planning the work. That ideally, they start this work in September because of the need for the concrete to cure and things.
Right.
And they plan, this is the timeframes in which they're planning their work. Like the
Sure.
pre-bid meeting would take place someplace in mid-February.
It looks like about 6 months, 7 months, where they're going to be filling their schedule.
So that's, I just based this off of the conversations that we had with Carl, who's knowledgeable on how this works.
He's very knowledgeable. That's what he does. He works on dams everywhere.
I think that's what the answer has to be. I wouldn't want to throw out a number. None of us are engineers, none of our dam engineers.
Right. And even
Right.
when Carl did provide a wild ass guess number, which, I mean, it was educated, really wasn't a wild ass guess, but it still was not acceptable by the membership. It's not a construction quote.
And it had a wiggle room in it, so
Right.
do we want a number that has plus or minus 50%? We don't know.
So we'll have a better
Solid
number plus a contingency on what we go out for as an assessment.
Sure. Yeah, and it'll still provide quite, if the dam project starts in September.
Mhm.
The first half of the project, the left side facing south
Mhm.
is going to get done first.
Correct.
When they start the right side,
Mhm.
we don't have a time frame for that, but it's going to be before the assessment is required,
Mhm.
where we can't,
Mhm.
where we're going to need additional funds.
The work needs to be
It's-
consecutive because there's
It's going to be
economies of scale. And doing the
It's going to
Equipment set up.
be toward the end of the year.
Yeah.
at least. The whole, he envisioned the timeline being till till in the first quarter of 27 if we start in 26.
So if we have a solid number in April, that's darn near a year
Hmm.
that we're providing. We're providing a year before we're going to be actually collecting on the assessment.
Yes.
Well, there's milestones, there's milestone payments.
But we-
So that'll be in the bid contract.
but still,
So they're also doing, so in front of the earthen dam, they're putting a neoprene membrane and then, a concrete wall with riprap mixed in it. So that's another section, if you will, I guess.
That's at the end.
Are they doing that at the end
You have to have both.
and then connect them? So there's a lot of moving pieces. And again, hopefully we get the east side to participate fully.
It's really voluntary over there, though. It really is.
Yeah, but you said you were gonna talk to the town, and the town felt like there may be some.
Were you on the email today?
I did
with
not see
Valerie?
the email today.
Okay, so Tim, we talked to Valerie, I don't know,
July 22nd.
then.
Where do you pull it up?
Well,
I was in Alaska. That's the only reason I know.
and she was gonna have a conversation with Irene, and Tim was looking for a means because Public Works is also putting in 108,000-ish. It's really 107 and change. It's weird. There may be a way to compel them because it's Public Works partial projects. I really don't know.
That'd be great.
I know. So today he reached out again and Valerie invited a meeting with Irene to discuss. Now, I don't know if you all know, but Irene is retiring in November. So, hopefully, we can figure something out.
So before we move off of this meeting, just things that I'd like, if you could, next week when we speak with Valerie.
Yep.
Understand or create an action item where we understand how much the selectmen or want to participate, you know. I mean,
Involvement
yeah.
in the,
Yeah,
Yeah.
selectmen's, that's the first thing. Is the Sourcewell tool and the Connecticut CT portal the same thing? I suspect they are, but I don't know that. If they're not, we need some additional definition into what we're doing there. Okay, because I mean, the goal is compliance, all right?
agreed.
But if I don't know what I have to comply to, it's difficult.
I sent you that whole document. I'm like, okay, here.
No, I read this one here, and this one here, 1065, we can definitely.
But all the rest of them I was reading, I'm like, oh my God, they gotta have a
The
board
rest
of
of them-
governors meeting and they gotta,
Yeah.
you know, oh
So
geez.
this one here is, this one's are out on this, and that's fine.
Okay,
So that, and then how the, like they said that they would pay invoices, but like, how does that work?
agreed. And also, if they're getting invoices directly, we want to see them because we want to know that
Yeah, I mean,
they're,
it's gotta work both
yeah,
ways.
yeah. So, this was all new to her. And Valerie actually didn't even completely understand our special taxing district.
Okay.
So it was new to her.
Well, most people don't.
Yeah. That's a very true statement.
Honest God, when I talk to the insurance companies, I'm like, here it is in the Connecticut statutes, this is what we are.
So are we paying the bills or is the town paying the bills?
So for the money that the town is contributing, they want to be invoiced directly.
On the contractor.
Mhm.
So we're gonna have to meet their procurement.
Well, that's what we're
Yeah,
talking about.
That's this.
Right.
And that's the Sourcewell and that's that.
So we may not get any choice on this. They may say you are going to use this vendor because they're on the state bid. That's
They
it.
may, they may. So here's not the problem, but here's the situation. I mean, we talked to Irene now and then a month from now, somebody else is the new selectman and, well, okay.
Well, you still have to follow procurement. So
Yes.
finance is finance.
Yes, but hopefully whatever we come up with,
Got more than one.
So if it's a municipal bid process and it goes over 100,000, so if the bid project goes over $100,000 for total cost, they're going to go out to public bid, which means they have an advertising requirement. They have so many days that they'll put it out for, which is usually 14 minimum.
Here's.
So it's
that's
probably the
first-
same as
that's the
ours
first part,
or
yeah,
close.
it's the same,
Yeah.
except for if you go down to 106-5, it says that
that's
you
from
can,
Valerie.
it says you can go out for an RFP and that's within compliance, which is kind of the way that we envisioned it, rather than, you know, a notification of bids and then,
So who's writing the RFP?
Carl already wrote it.
He did.
Well, he's wrote it.
And the town
written a
legal has
draft.
already looked at that?
He's
Yeah.
written a draft. We're gonna review it.
Because it's gonna have to go to legal. They're gonna have to approve it and it's gonna come back.
Right.
The only reason why I say that is because your timeline might be,
Aggressive.
well, and also it may have to go through their public public voting council, open government process.
Right.
Okay, so you might not be able to meet our internal guidelines and their internal guidelines. Right.
I think that's kind of like what I'm hoping that will come out of these meetings, is that we have an understanding of what we're doing, although there still may be wild cards.
Right.
You're saying if you're a vendor and you didn't pay a fee, you won't be on that.
No, you have to pay an application fee.
So if you choose not to, we may miss out on a vendor that.
Correct. But any vendor can bid. What the bid process, what the state bid portal saves you on is you don't have to wait that time to go to bid because they've already submitted their pricing, right? So they've given their construction rate per square foot, you know, if that's what it is based on, and that's already gone to the state of Connecticut. So the state of Connecticut has it for 2025.
Okay.
All right, boom,
All
boom,
right.
boom. And then it'll show you, okay, these guys do dams. This is how much they charge for labor. And this is how much they charge for engineering. And this is what they want for deposit. This is what they want for contingency. And you'll get that kind of breakdown. And then if you pick them, you don't have to go to public bid
Right.
because they have a bid number that's already assigned by the state. And then counts, even East Haddam would just go to their open meeting and say, this is the vendor who's doing it, and this is a state bid, so we don't have to follow this,
Right.
right, as far as the bid process is concerned.
It's
We have to
easy.
follow the procurement,
Right.
right? But we don't have to follow a bid process because they've already been vetted by the state. And every year it changes.
Right.
So,
And that is what Valerie.
So
explained.
we started scoping this out, but I got stonewalled everywhere I went because I didn't have access into the CT portal and I did not have access into Sourcewell. You know,
so you can also use so you can also use federal, state law in Connecticut allows you to use, to piggyback off, surrounding bids.
Hmm.
So we can use GSA, which is the, federal,
services.
or we can use Rhode Island, Massachusetts,
I don't know
et cetera. If there's a vendor that comes out of state, but they have a state bid process for that.
So we do have one in Massachusetts. Right?
Right.
Yeah,
I think the last one here is somebody that's already done work for us.
Sumac,
I know they're on that, yeah.
that was John Gilmore suggested that he had done business
Yeah.
with them.
So. Who put the dam in, by the way?
1,800 Army Corps of Engineers.
How
Charles.
come they're not paying
No,
for it?
Charles Hayward.
We own it.
Get 'em on the
Somehow or
phone.
another, we own it.
Charles Hayward completed the dam in 1868.
Because this used to be Shaw Lake before
Yeah.
it was Lake Hayward.
And it was something before it was Charlotte.
Oh, really?
Long
I did not know
learned
I
that
never thought it was
Just
Shaw.
the other day.
So
Yeah.
DEP owns no part of this. They just do the
Oversight.
inspections.
Oversight.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, because of the flooding. So,
Mhm.
all right, okay.
And then there are alternatives, like Carl suggested that we explore dam safety and a couple other state organizations for funding, which we can do, and it may or may not result in anything, I don't know.
Mhm.
But
He did give us
Yeah,
good
yeah.
information on that.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can bond, you can loan.
Didn't somebody here say they knew about grant writing?
No?
It was a selling point.
Oh.
Sometimes I have this,
Yeah, I thought it was
Memory.
a selling point.
um,
Really good at that.
I didn't say it was good. Just saying.
Experience.
I have appropriated several million in the course of my career, yes.
so I think, let's see, tree.
But I mean, when I started doing
Oh,
research,
flood and erosion control board.
Mhm.
So
under dam safety, right? Yeah.
under dam
Yeah, but
safety.
you have to look, see if it's a pass-through or it's a direct, because if it's a pass-through, you have to go through the state of Connecticut. And I can tell you right now, you have to go through deep, so deep would have to apply for it.
So,
And we're not really high risk. That's like when I explored it,
right, we're
we're
BB.
not really high risk. There's 3,000 and something dams in the state of Connecticut that have some risk,
Right,
287 that are high risk,
right.
and we're not one of them.
Right, we're a BB rating.
Yeah.
Probably a good one.
I'd rather be there, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's amazing. I think there's 3,000 dams in this state that have risk.
Yeah,
All of the manufacturing
Hmm.
from the 1800s.
Yeah, there was,
It was sealed up all the rivers.
so it was an Indian name. Like, I can't, I'll have to look it up again. I think it was,
I know.
What time is it? it time
It's
to
8:08.
yes.
All right.
Is there anything else, Mr.
Yeah.
President, Madam President?
I think I've seen that.
I like that. Madam President.
so somebody else calls me that. Who calls me that?
Everyone calls it now.
That's it.
Oh, no.
Jeff, I think.
Yes, yeah, I think it's Jeff. I think that's it. No, I think we covered all of the talking points I had here. It just, again, there's a lot of moving parts and pieces, trying to get them together. I think we'll probably have another meeting, but, so we all agree the next step is to write this letter.
What are you gonna say? I don't think you have a lot of information to put out at this point, other than the referendum that we thought we were going to have. Basically, it's the referendum we thought we were gonna have is not gonna occur based on new information received. This is we must do it as opposed to it's an option. And that's it right now, because we don't have cost, timeline, vendor, or anything else. I
Right.
think that's.
That was new information you learned since the discussion of a referendum, right?
So here's the next question. Do we want to lick and stamp envelopes or do we want to use QDS?
I can look and stamp envelopes. Because I think we're gonna need. Well, I could, I don't know.
Remember
I
what
think,
happened to George Costanza's fiance?
I'm done. Yes,
He died.
yeah. Looking.
Lick an envelope?
I don't know, I think it's a big, that's a large cost.
I think it was $600 or $700.
All right, whatever.
I mean, by the time you buy stamps, envelopes, we did it one year, Cindy, myself, and Linda Hobart. Who's Linda Hobart? And we sat here at the table and just, it's,
Right, yes,
it's tedious. So I think I will formulate a letter. I will circulate it for comment. And then, we'll try to get it out as soon as we can, I guess. Really, it's just informational. It's not gonna go over big. The June meeting is gonna be exciting.
Oh, I think it's important to let them know we have the permit.
Yes,
That's a big thing.
Yep.
We have the permit now. We're gonna go out for quotes, working with Carl. And we should have a very solid number by sometime in April.
I think you can dissipate a lot of the anxiety for communications. Seriously, you know, like.
I think so too, Dave, but it has to be
Yeah.
said right,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
wordsmithed.
My wife says you do a great job with that. Seriously.
really?
Yeah, yeah. She says all that. Lori does a great job with presentations. She's very confident in her approach. Communicates well.
Oh, that's
Here,
really
here. Agreed.
Thank-
Oh, yeah,
Thank you.
you do well.
Says. Next time you see her.
Okay. Thank you. All right, so, football,
Adjourned,
motion,
motion,
to adjourn.
second.
All those in
all in favor?
Okay.
Aye.
Brian.
Thank you,
No,
Brian.
Brian wants to
I
stay
know, he
out.
didn't raise.
Have a good night.
Of this.
Yeah.
What's the score, Brian?
Hi, Brian.
Finish all the cheese. Bye.
Bye. We missed you.
All right, I'll take
Oh.
the good.
My friend Brian had a good time.